To get this thing to stop sticking on the, what is it, FEP or whatever it is. I've got some dry lube with Teflon. Now people say PTFE and Teflon are both the same thing, so get whichever you can. Sometimes it's hard to find. I got it at Auto Place. So he says just spray a little bit of it on here, and I will hopefully get enough on there. So I put the stuff in there to hopefully make it not stick to the bottom. I'm gonna go ahead and pour some resin in, and hopefully this will work. I think I'm at the halfway point on my bottle, and so far I've got a lot of print errors. Other than my very first test print, that worked fine. But then trying to get my other prints going, it has not worked. So I will try this. Go ahead and plug it in and get it going. Whoa, all right. And hopefully this will work. So it's been leveled out. Go to my file, double click on my file and tell it to start printing. Last time it failed, and I believe it was due to sticking on the bottom of the plate. What is it? The film. Is it FEP? Is that what it's called? So we will see how this works. You could hear it sucking and sticking each time it tried to pull up. So now we're gonna try to do this and see if it works. So we're gonna be listening to the sticking sound, see if it sticks. Alright, so it looks like it's not doing a sticking thing when it goes up and down, so I'm going to turn it off for now and we'll come back closer towards the end. Thanks. Here we are again, and looking at it, it is not working again. So this print has failed as well. So getting a little frustrated with this. So need to cancel it. And I'm thinking this might be just this model. So this piece might not be good. And let me see if I got any. Yeah, I got some stuff stuck to the bottom, it looks like. Yep, got stuff stuck to the bottom. So there's little pieces floating around in here. I don't know. So back to the drawing board, it looks like. I will take this stuff off, and I guess I will do a test print. I didn't want to use the files that came with it other than that one, but it looks like I need to do another test print with one of their files. That way I can find out if it's the files I'm choosing or if it is something else, something I'm doing wrong or whatever. So anyway, I will try it again. We are going to try a test print again. This time, instead of using one of the free models that I have and one that I did through the Chitubox or whatever, I'm going to go ahead and use one of the models that was included with the printer, and that way I can see if the thing is leveled and everything's okay, and if it's just me not knowing how to use Chitubox or whatever it is. So that's the theory for this one. So we're gonna go to the files, and this one I'm gonna try the Vampire Lord bust because that's a longer or a bigger bust to make. It is a 6 hours on there. So if it comes out right, that'll be good, and if it comes out horrible, then that will be me having problems with the printer and not knowing what the heck is going on. If this one fails, I'm going to put it down to resin possibly, and I'm going to try swapping out the resin and see if that works instead. So anyway, this is test print like number 7 or something, 8, I don't know, losing track. All I know is I've got one that worked, and I got this base thing that printed out okay, but other than that, everything else is bad. So I will check back with you. Thanks. This is done now, and it looks like it printed pretty good. So that would imply to me that my print models that I was using were the problem. So the designs were the problem and not the machine. So either I don't know how to use the Chitubox, or or something. Anyway, I'm gonna have to look at this and see what it looks like after it's closer, to see what the details look like and stuff like that. So I'll put a more detailed thing when I get it taken apart, and I'm gonna try another one that I purchased. The ones that I was using before were free ones, so maybe that was why they were not good models. But I'm going to use one that I purchased and see if that STL file works better. I'll do that overnight. Here we go, starting another print. This one is with a paid file. And 8 hours from now, we will find out, 9 hours from now, we will find out if I'm able to print from purchased files, because it seems like the test files are working fine. It's just the ones that I purchased or gotten free on the internet I'm having trouble with. So I'll see if this one works. So we woke up to the supports all being there and looking good, but no model. So I guess the print, it fell down because it was too heavy, and so now I'm going to try it with the heavy supports instead of the light supports and see how that works. And here we go again. This is with the heavy supports. So we'll see if the heavier supports are able to hold the model. And also, if that doesn't work, then I'm going to probably switch to the Longerware instead of the Chitubox and try to figure out settings or something. So hopefully this one will work. Looks like we have a completed print, and I'm going to have to pull it off and see if it has any errors or how it came out. This is with the heavy supports, and just from here it looks like the heavy supports might be messing up detail, so I'm going to pull it off and see what it looks like. Just finished the washing of the resin print. I looked at it, and it looks like some of the pieces, when it was getting washed, some of the supports came off. So maybe they're not too thick on there, but I'm not sure if I can see it really well right now, but I'm going to have to cut it and see how it comes out as far as the print pieces. This is the Lady Death model that was sitting on the where she's sitting on the throne with the sword and everything. So it had to be printed at 49% because it would not fit on my tray at 100%. And there were a few pieces that I could have put at like 55%, but the throne itself would have had to been cut in half to be able to do that because the piece wasn't working too good. So anyway, I will take the supports off when I get a chance and go ahead and get it cured. This is the other one that I had, which is the Vampire Lord. That one is dry, printed overnight. That is the one that I was testing to see if the thicker supports were what was the problem, and apparently that is what it is. So if I use the thicker supports, it seems like it's printing fine. I was trying to use the thin supports and they weren't supporting the model and it was falling. I'm going to try a couple prints with medium support and see if those will hold. So this is it. It looks like the detail is really good. This isn't really the model I wanted and wasn't going to spend the resin on it to print it, but it's a nice model, or a nice design and everything. It's just I wanted to make sure that it was actually printing, and that it was not the printer, it was actually me not knowing how to use the Chitubox and the supports and all that stuff. So anyway, there it is. I will give you a final detail and let you know what's going on later. And another thing that I determined from the filters that are included in the pack are really too big for the bottles. If you try to stick them down inside the nozzle, they will spill all over the top of it. And if you bend them to fold over so that you can fit them down into the nozzle, then the mesh separates from the paper. So basically what I'm doing on this one is I'm going to go ahead and pour it in really slow to make sure it does go into that mesh and stay in the bottle. But these are not good ones. You should immediately, if you order this printer, go out and buy your own and buy a smaller size so they can go into the bottle and filter out the stuff better. Just a quick update. Here we are with another printer fail, and this was my fault again. It wasn't the printer, it was I am figuring out the ways that the stuff works, and apparently the supports for these little ones on this dwarf guy, I can do the light supports. Now these are medium supports, but this was a base for a larger figure, and it had the medium supports. So apparently the large pieces need the heavy supports, and the smaller pieces like these can do the smaller supports. So anyway, I will get that cleaned up. I let it do overnight, and I'll get it cleaned up and we'll see what it looks like. Thanks. Some observations that I have. These are all of my prints that I've done so far since I got the printer, and everything has been cured except for this one. I don't know if you can see real well, but the shiny, I guess that means it hasn't been cured, because once it's been cured it dulls down quite a bit. So here are this is the longer coin. That's one of the test prints. Here is a piece that I had that didn't work. That was before I figured out the situation on the supports. So basically I need to put light supports only for super small figure pieces like this. Those are light supports, can support that. And then this one did heavy supports, and that's really good. I'll have to get some probably stills to show better detail, but right now that's not looking too bad. And then like detail, I don't know if you can see the detail in the leg armor there, and some of the pieces, the boot and everything. That's some pretty good detail in there. I mean, it's really great detail, and I haven't even been using it at the full scale yet. This is the Lady Death model that we have, and the detail on the armor. I ended up breaking the cape piece off when I was taking it apart, so that cape piece came off. But the detail, even that little strand of hair, I don't know if you can see it right by the hand, there's a strand of hair, and that went ahead and came out good without falling apart. So she actually has her finger, her index finger is going through her hair and touching the eyebrow there. And then these are the support pieces. I figure some of them might be able to use in a diorama or something like that. If you're looking at, you know, like steel girders or something like that, or some sort of, you know, wasteland construction, weird looking stuff, so could always use those. I also figured out that if you do not clean your prints well enough, they will have a white residue on them. So when they cure, if you don't get all of the resin off of it, the wet resin that was just loose on it, and I didn't clean these because a lot of them were just pieces that were junk, so I didn't really go to big length to clean them. And so you can see that they are white with that white residue on them, and then the ones that I did kind of wash off and clean, those are the dull gray color, or flat gray. So anyway, here you go. You can see the color differences, flat gray. And then when you don't have a print that is, this one I did not, I didn't cure, so it's still really flexible, rubbery, and it's junk, but still I just thought I'd keep all this stuff to see the differences and things like that. So hopefully I've got it figured out now, and I'll be able to do good prints from now on.